back everyone for some more Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, and we're ready to begin Day 2 in the trial in the case against Mayor Damien Tenma. And we found out about as much as we possibly can, although we are still trying to come to terms with a revelation that Jinxie told us at the end of the last episode, which, in case you guys missed it, I would highly recommend watching it. But before we get into Day 2 of the trial, hope you guys have an awesome day today. Hope you guys doing well. So without further ado, April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, I think it's courtroom number 3. No, courtroom number 4, I'm sorry. Court is now in session. All rise. Court was back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Oh, I didn't miss the rest of that. A shipper is authorized to you, and in French no less, and the prosecution? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There'll be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell. Now, your opening statement of your word. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it. Looks like the judge is really bringing it today. Probably realized how Blackwell played him. That was one mean game, as Simon says. Yeah, his honor has to fight to defend his honor today. Your baldness. It's plain to see that you always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement. I have? I don't know if I'd say that. Well, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes that last time you gave the opening statement. That was the look of one who yearns deeply for a thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you have been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court. The one thing you could not possess. The crown jewels of the court? Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse? So you don't mind if I do it then? I'll make a special exception just this once. Here we go again. Yep, more Blackwell's mind games. Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned a shocking truth that the victim, Alderman Rex Kyubi, was the Amazing Ninetales. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetales was a key figure in yokai craze and anti-merger protests. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex Kyubi's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him. The fact that the crime took place in a tightly locked room was also brought to light, and the only people in the tightly locked room were the defendant and victim. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof that a third party would escape the room. Ergo, we must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Did I say something wrong? That was quite astonishing. You truly outdone yourself this time. Oh, one more thing to boast about my grandchild. Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events. Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify. The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation? The feathers and traps? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed? That was but an act to protect his daughter. Oh, yes, of course. Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance? His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection!
The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture. Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that little scamp is the one behind the Tenma Taro farce. Witness testimony? I bet he means Filch and that creep LaBelle. Very well then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today. Been known for my hasty retreats since I was a kid. Bit of a trademark of mine. Indeed, you managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip. Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Nice! Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place. No, please, I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running. Your statement, now. Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir. You may be a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell. Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give-up-easy type. Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime. Witness testimony. The yokai is Jinxie. Tenma is really that little maid gal, ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenma I saw was just a little thing about her size. But little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. Bet she stole from a forbidden chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation, I just know it. So, Tenma was short in stature, and that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along? You betcha. Besides, all the rest of the manor were way taller than her. Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short. What if the Tenma impersonator was walking on their knees? Want no knee walking, I'd seen it myself. Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tenma after all. All monsters are naught but tricks, either the mind or the cheap parlor variety. So you're saying she created an illusion by one of those magic eye things? Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams out some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor. Oh, Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost. Literally. The janitor's deathly complexion and all white attire are, no doubt, partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that. That actually sounds like a real ghost to me. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. And before every cross-examination, I like to save. Hey there, Big Cammy. Cross-examination. The yokai is Jinxie. Okay. Just a little thing about her size, little big old staff. He saw it. Bet you she stole it from a forbidden chamber. Okay, this is what I take issue with, and I actually have a piece of evidence that I like to present here, and that is the forbidden chamber key.
Objection!
It would seem that Tenma was in fact not this innocent little girl. Huh? How you figure that? You claimed that Tenma you said had one of those staves from the forbidden chamber. But it would have been impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one. Could you elaborate, Mr. Justice? The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the forbidden chamber. What's this? This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it would have been impossible for her to get into the forbidden chamber. In short, the Tenma seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma. Ah! What? But what? Then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenma? Our Tenma impersonator is none other than Mayor Tenma's aide.
Objection!
Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he's the yokai I would see? Yes, in fact I can. Very well, let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us the proof as to the true identity of the Tenma impersonator. Well, it happened to be the thing that we found in the chamber itself, that is the hand cream.
Take that!
We found this hand cream in the forbidden chamber, and we know that whoever was Tenma took one of those staves out of there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for. But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner? I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. Defense requests a fingerprint analysis on this piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to. Interesting. So you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while we wait for the fingerprint results. No need for that, Your Baldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day. You called Prosecutor Blackwell? Can anyone be more whipped? Fulbright, analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes. Your wish is my command. Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here. It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete. What do results show? What in the world? They're Florent Lobel's prints, aren't they? This is absurd. Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I? Don't tell me. They're Temataro's prints? Fingerprint analysis has revealed that prints belong to... Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Wait, what? What? Then Mr. LaBelle was the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little tanuki. Explain yourself, now! Sure, the thin prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all. So you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber? So what if I did? You got a problem with it? You, fool of a tanuki. Order. Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean? Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Wait a second. Does this mean the Tenmataro holding that staff was... Phineas Filch? X, another cat out of the bag. But Mr. Filch is Tenmataro? I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer? The witness will explain himself this instant. Begging your pardon, Your Honorship, but I was just doing what the Alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenmataro in the Village Exorcism ritual. Oh, you mean that event at the Nine Tails Vale Festival? So that was you inside the Tenmataro costume? Yep, and after the event I went to watch a pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of wrestlers being complete jobbers. So he didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match. That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And cause I'm superstitious, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word. In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible. Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place? Cause of the treasure there. Thought that was my big chance to sneak in and nab it. Treasure? Only that's the greatest get-rich-quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there. He went in there not knowing his grandfather already pilfered it? Guess that's one tale that didn't get passed down from Grandpappy to grandson. Wait, how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in. I could through the air vent in the foyer. The vent's left on the Alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did. You what? But how's that even possible? Wait a sec. Remember the air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how he got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent? So Tenmataro was nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather, a tanuki burglar. Hey there, Dark Demo. Oh, we're back to being without anyone charged with the Alderman's murder. Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker. Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer? I got out of costume right quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point. And where is that costume now? Heck if I know, and it ain't my fault if you never find it. The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor. Whatever was tossed outside the manor? Ah! No way! But maybe, just maybe... The fence seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice. Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of the costume here? Would be this open window right here.
Take that!
Did you toss it out the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up inside the manor. You think I tossed out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny. So why would I go to something like that? I can think of a few reasons. Any bright ideas, Apollo? Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And if I'm right, I might have just the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch. I have just the evidence for you. You do? This evidence proves you got rid of Tenma Taro costume. Well, it happens to be the special edition paper.
Take that!
Ah, that's... Tenma Taro flying through the sky? And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out the window? It's quite simple. That's not Tenma Taro in the photo, it's the costume Mr. Filch threw out. Aw, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are you? There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenma Taro really was a flight of fancy. What? Oh my, so there really never was a yokai. I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume? This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Tenma had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting. Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? None whatsoever. I'll deal with that Trixie Tanuki after I dealt with this case. We did it! Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Objection!
Sheathing that sword a bit early, are we not? Huh? Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanuki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber? Probably the same way he got in. Through the chamber's air vent. And what of the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanuki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection!
But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside, so what you're saying makes no sense. Right? Humph. Someone on the outside opened the door for you, isn't that right? Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it!
Sprung right open? Who was on the other side? Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare. Like how the reflection from my headblinds fellow moviegoer was emerging from the dark. That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then a little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall. That means the Forbidden Chamber wasn't open until after the crime was discovered. But wait, we still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Objection!
Well, you little Tanuki? When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there? Nope. Only one there was the alderman, and he was dead as a doormat. Or doornail, rather. If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Oh, don't tell me. Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber was... the accused, Damien Tenma. Ah! Wait a second. There had to be someone else besides Mayor Tenma there. Really? Who might that be? Oh, well, that would be...
Objection!
Seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence. I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details. Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact. Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again. No, Athena, we're definitely onto something here. We are? Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the forbidden chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand. Someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the forbidden chamber, and by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up. Ah, not that insufferable. Very well. The court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up? Well, it's none other than Florent LaBelle.
Take that!
Why, that's the defendant say, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime? True, but in his alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know now, Mr. Filch was not there with Miss LaBelle at the time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared. Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch? I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me he'd button his lip about me breaking in the forbidden chamber. And in return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi. Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know. Aw, shucks. Mercy, your honorship. Mercy. I also assert that the person who opened the forbidden chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent LaBelle. After all, his alibi has just been proven to be a complete fabrication. I see. We will take a 20-minute recess, after which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself. Yes! We're finally going to drag that slippery snake onto the stand. In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about these new allegations. April 19th, 10:25 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3, I think it is. Yep. We did it, Apollo! We finally dragged Miss LaBelle into court. Yeah. Hey, why the long face? I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell is bound to mount a counterattack. You really are a worrywart, aren't you? It'll be fine. That mystery figure who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch had to have been Florent LaBelle. I know, but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though. At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo. And with that, I'm actually going to call it here. I'm going to save here. The next time I see you guys, we are going to hear Florent LaBelle's testimony. So, hope you guys looking forward to that. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. I will see you guys again next time.